Hey guys, Ryan Fowler with InnerMasculine.com. Thanks for coming to my show. Today we're going to tackle a very important, common red pill topic, but we do the inner masculine spin on it because the difference between my show and other shows is they look at an iceberg, they see above the water. I do that too, but I also look at everything beneath the water. I'm talking about your subconscious mind. This is why a lot of people, they have this term red pill masturbators. They'll watch all this red pill content, never change. People read tons of self-improvement books, never change. Why is that? Well, I show you guys why, and I give you guys solutions to actually change your subconscious mind to get this stuff in your core and up level. And that's what I've done for myself. You can watch testimonials, in the video section, a bunch of testimonials, and the live show, basically anytime it's me and one other guy, it's a testimonial. So we're going to dive into mental point of origin today from a conscious and subconscious perspective. So the thing is, back before I cleared my subconscious trauma, I had bad subconscious beliefs. I knew what shit tests were. I knew what mental point of origin was, and I would still fail to do it. I would go back to my old people pleasing and needy, seeking validation. I wasn't too needy, but it was more just, I'm going to give into the woman's frame to try and please her, because my upbringing was, my mom was a boss, her way or the highway. She didn't give a crap about any opinion we had. She would do all sorts of manipulation arguments to always bring it to her way. And so I was raised not having frame, not making myself the point of origin. My mom, narcissistic personality disorder. I was given the absolute worst possible type. I'm sure there's narcissists out there that are more severe than my mom. And she's just she's wounded. She has her own struggles. Hi, El Chino. Hi, Mike Horton. Hi, Brent, if you're still there. Hi, everyone that's already said hi in the chat. I appreciate it. So I really know from a deep level, having been raised with someone, narcissists are all about them. It's their way or the highway. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about your mental point of origin. It's all about them. So I had to overcome that. That was all I knew in my childhood, is being anything but my own mental point of origin. And it put me in a very miserable place, manic depression, general anxiety disorder, CPTSD, all this crap. Mental point of origin is a very important aspect of becoming alpha, of raising your sexual market value, of getting what you want in life, of having self-respect, of having feelings of self-worth. It all is tied to mental point of origin. So we're going to dive in deep to what that is. And someone said El Chino just signed up for a one-on-one. Hey, thanks, El Chino. I'm going to do my best to rock your world, my man. My sessions are 5 or 6 hours because, number one, it's not just hypnosis. I do life coaching. I do a lot of analysis, figuring out exactly what's going on, everything you're struggling with. And then I do self-talk and mental models. And then I do a hypnosis session, because my goal is, with one-on-one, as much as possible, change your life permanently for the better. One session doesn't mean I clear everything, but more often than we're really almost all the time, 94 or 5, I don't know, percent of the time, massive benefit, permanent benefit, one session. So El Chino, I look forward to doing that for you. So we're going to dive into what mental point of origin is, but we're also going to dive into what is it? There's so many dudes in today's world that can't hold frame. Even if they know what it is, even if they try, they're still people pleasing. They're still validation seeking. They still get in bad relationships with predatory women that, death by 1,000 cuts, 1,000 small concessions, and whether they're BPD or whether it's just a woman that takes over the frame. And then the woman doesn't respect the man. It's a bad dynamic. It's just a mess. So why do so many guys struggle with this? Well, there's a lot going on subconsciously that we're going to examine. So we're going to dive into that. But first of all, just want to make you guys aware that my ebook's coming out, InnerMasculine.com, free ebook, about a week, maybe week and a half. I'm working on it. It's not going to have any fluff in it. Let me, here's the table of contents. it's going to give you a blueprint, and it's going to explain the fundamentals here. I'm probably going to switch up the table of contents order a little bit, but this is more or less what it is. You're going to understand how our subconscious mind develops. Carl Jung, the father of modern psychotherapy, said, until you make the subconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is going to give you the awareness of what's going on in you. How does the subconscious mind control 95% of our behaviors? I mean, it's neuroscience. 95% of behavior directed by our subconscious mind. How does it do that? How does it, interact with the conscious world, the outside world? How did subconscious programs develop? What is a subconscious program? What is our brain geared to motivate us towards and motivate us to avoid? Because you guys who are stuck in life, your brain at a subconscious level, very powerful programs motivating you to avoid certain things, to stay safe. And even though in reality, if you pursue these things, it's not unsafe, it over time gets you ahead. A lot of guys can't do it because your subconscious mind perceives it's not safe. Doesn't mean it's not. It means it perceives it's not safe. Why? What are these limiting beliefs? What's this self-sabotage? What's this procrastination holding you back? How can we, switch things around so your subconscious mind is working for you and not holding you back, not working against you, not, inordinate amounts of anger or feeling not good enough, feeling like you don't fit in, all of these things. What is going on in your subconscious? It's not filled with fluff. It's filled with just a lot of really concise information, trying to put it as simply as I can. There's a fair amount to cover here, but it's not going to be 200 pages. It's going to give you some really concise stuff so you really understand the fundamentals. No charge whatsoever. intermasteling.com/free-ebook. Put in your email when it comes out. You're going to get it no charge. So with that said, we got 2 clips today that I'm going to analyze. One is by Rich Cooper, and Rich does give a very good, breakdown of what is mental origin, why do you need it. I had a little criticism of some of Rich's coaching style, not to criticize him, but to show you guys certain coaching styles actually demotivate and discourage people. But I'm not a black and white guy. I think there's great things about Andrew Tate. I think there's great things about, Myron, who I had criticized. He has a really terrible coaching style, but he does a lot of good stuff. Rich Cooper does a lot of good stuff. They have a lot of good wisdom. So what Rich says today is really breaks down what mental point of origin is pretty succinctly. So we're going to go through that, and then I'm going to show you a clip from Melanie Tonia Evans. This is a lady who program I took, and it cured my manic depression within 2 months. I mean, 15 years of therapy, got 60%, and that last few years didn't do anything for my anxiety. All of that took her program 2 months, boom. Rest of that manic depression, the really hard to get stuff therapy couldn't touch. Her program got it. That's what started me on this whole journey. And then I learned a lot on top of what she did. Now I'm helping other guys, helping women too. If a woman wants a session, come right on in. I'll help you. It works for men and women. I'm just specialized. I'm not exclusive to men. I am specialized to men because men don't have other men helping them heal their inner world within a masculine frame. It's like severely missing. I do it. Paul Apex Mindset does it. There's a few others who do it, but really very, 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 very few guys. And most guys don't want to go to, normal therapy because there's a feminine mindset around it. It's kind of, the American Psychological Association says traditional masculinity is on the whole harmful. That's a mainstream organization. That right there is all you need to know. And dude, I wouldn't go to any therapist that says that shit. To hell with that, So anyways, I'm going to go over Rich Cooper's clip, and then Melanie's really dives into the subconscious. She's kind of woohoo, but there's just really good nuggets of wisdom there. So let's get started. And of course, I'm going to be commenting throughout, showing you more about how the subconscious world works in relation to mental point of origin. And if you know about mental point of origin and you struggle to hold frame, keep your mental point of origin, then this is for you, because I'm telling you guys stuff you're not going to see on any other Red Pill broadcast. That's just straight up facts. Here we go.
My brothers, in this video, we're going to be talking about mental point of origin and why that's important. To segue in, I got this DM from one of my community members that I've been working with in the past, and he said, is it wrong of me to focus all of my attention on myself and things that benefit me instead of women? All right, let's hop right into this, yeah? So the answer to this question, in case you're unfamiliar, is absolutely not. However, most guys do make the assumption or the mistake, even men that, will start consuming content that starts to have them question mental point of origin or think about putting themselves in their interest first. It's just a natural part of the unplugging process. There's a reason why I called my new book The Unplugged Alpha, because for you to get better results out of life as guys, you need to unplug from the lies, the comforting lies that society has sold you your entire life, and plug into a new set of beliefs that serve you. And one of the things that you need to do as a guy is learn how to put yourself first and stop putting everything else first, including women. I've said this before, and this might be a new soundbite to some of you guys that are newer to the channel, but they tell men and women very different things when it comes to doing what's right. They'll tell guys, be a stand-up virtuous guy and do what's right. But they'll tell a woman, do what's right for you, girl. Okay, so it's a totally different narrative. It's a different set of rules that women have versus what guys have. And unfortunately, that programming, whether you want to call it societal programming or part of men's conditioning as they grow up, it's a strong piece of our firmware. It's a real strong piece of our operating. Taking it all in with Disney movies, bending the knee so men can become less, so she can become more, saving the princess. We've learned it through school, through religion, through media, all the TV shows that I watched growing up when I was a kid, and it's even worse today. All the examples that I can think of today, like even the cartoon ones like Family Guy or The Simpsons. But, when I was a kid, things like The Cosby Show or Home Improvement and stuff like that, the fathers were always portrayed as bumbling morons, idiots, in fact. And they were always doing things to try to make their wives happy. The women in their lives, even their daughters, happy. They didn't know how to say no. They didn't know how to set boundaries. And of course, today it's no wonder. And this guy's red pill. Like, I've talked to him a couple times before. He's been in my community for months. But even to this day, guys that start to take the proverbial red pill and start going down the rabbit hole, they'll still question it and say, is it okay for me to have a purpose in life? Is it okay for me to, chase excellence, not women? And I'll tell you this right off the bat. As soon as you start going around in life, guys, asking for permission from other people to do things that you inherently know that you should be doing. And when I say inherently, let's be honest, your intuition, your spidey senses know that you should be putting yourself first, right? But it's hard for guys to do, You watch the Titanic, women and children first, the boat's going down, we got to save all the chicks and the small kids, right? So it's no surprise that a lot of guys really, really struggle with this one. And so I don't totally blame them, but you have to internalize what the whole notion of mental point of origin really and truthfully means. And I think, if anything, that's probably one of the most important lessons that men must learn and internalize when it comes to getting better results out of their lives, is how to make themselves their own mental point of origin and put their interests ahead of others. I'm not saying go out of your way to be a dick or to create havoc in other people's lives or disparage them. What I am saying is, when it comes down to making choices, like, let's use a simple example of mental point of origin would be something like, you're arranging a date with a chick. Okay, you meet her on a swiping app, blah, blah, blah. How you doing? You get her phone number, you get off the app. There's genuine burning desire. The interest is there. And then you start talking about where you're going to get together. Now, a guy that makes himself his own mental point of origin will, of course, choose a place, so a meeting place, whether they're going for a coffee or a drink or something like that, for the first date. He's going to choose it. He's going to choose a location, the date, and the time. And more often than not, the closer it is to you, the better off you are as a guy. You're going to get a better result at the end of the day. It, of course, solidifies what genuine burning desire is, because women are more than willing to travel. I saw this tweet the other day. To give an example, I saw this tweet the other day. This chick tweeted something out along the lines of, I just drove 2 hours to come and see this guy, and he's texting another girl right in front of me. Okay, so that gives you a perfect example of what genuine burning desire is and why mental point of origin needs to exist for men. This is going to be something a lot of guys are going to struggle with. Oh, but how could that guy text another girl in front of her after after she drove for 2 hours to come see him. What a bad guy he is, Rich. Okay, that's one lens in which you can view that scenario. But there is no question in my mind anyway that the guy in that tweet that she's referencing is making himself his own mental point of origin. He didn't drive 2 hours to her. He didn't say, meet me halfway. He's like, I'm busy. I got stuff going on. I'm spinning plates. I got other talent in my life. It sounds like he was a younger guy. So she came and drove 2 hours to come and see him, and he's texting other girls right in front of her. So start to internalize it and use it in your life. I had a great conversation with Troy Francis once. We were talking, I can't remember if we did this on Rule Zero live or on a channel or offline, but it doesn't really matter. But the story basically was, in an LTR, a guy will often abandon his purpose, his passions, his dreams to supplicate hers. So let's say you're a writer, you're writing books, and you've got work to do, and she wants to go see her mother this weekend, or she wants to go to this event, or go to some, I don't know, stupid festival that you're not interested in, that gets in the way of you being on your purpose, putting your little dent in the universe. A man that makes himself his own mental point of origin will say, no, babe, you go ahead, you visit your mom. I'm going to have to sit out on this one. I've got a few hours of work to do, right? A guy that can't make himself his own mental point of origin and struggles to put himself first, will put down what he's doing, set aside his passion, set aside chasing excellence, and of course chase his girlfriend over to his mom's house or some silly festival that she wants to attend. So fellas, I think it's time to wrap up the video on that note. I've banged on the point on this one. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't checked out my new book, The Unplugged Alpha, it's pinned in the top comment. You can also find it on Amazon, in print and in Kindle, and pretty much all markets in the world. There's some others that I need to try to open up on, so stay tuned. I'll make an announcement when you have it available. Audible will be available next year when I get around to doing the audio recording. But yeah, there's lots of useful links in the pinned top comment. You want to book me, you want to get in my men's community, request a video, all that good stuff. Check it out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Unmute. Thank you. So right now we're looking at the what? Thanks, Dustin. What is mental point of origin? What I said before when my mic was unmuted. Yeah, I missed all those comments. I was talking about this woman driving 2 hours. I would never, ever on a first date, and honestly, only on rare occasions if she was my girlfriend, would I drive 2 hours to meet a girl. Never, ever on the first date. Flake rate is 20%. In Mexico, in the United States, for me, is probably 25. If I'm not holding frame, flake rate goes to 40, 50%. That's just my experience. Thank you, Mike. Everything we just looked at is the what is mental point of origin. What do you do to make yourself? I'm going to go into the how after this. But what you guys want to understand, the number one thing is, if you don't put yourself first, no one else will. As an adult man, if you don't put yourself first, no one else will. And if you matter, and you do matter, if you believe you matter, and whether you believe it or not, you do matter. So because you matter, someone should put you first. Because if you don't put yourself first, you won't get what you want, because no one else will do that for you. That's just how it is as a man. It doesn't mean we don't help others. This girl that drove 2 hours for the guy, he's still paying for the date, right? He's still doing, he probably still took the risk of asking her out, probably still planned the date, I think from a tactical standpoint, strategic standpoint, always have the girl come to you because they do flake more than men. And if you are a high value man, you're busy. I'm busy. I work, 6 days a week, sometimes more. I don't know, average 10 hours a day right now. It's cool. I'm doing what I love. I got a lot. I'm not just doing this YouTube channel. I'm not just doing hypnosis for clients. I got 3 projects I'm working on. I have a roofing company that needs my input from time to time. It's all good. But women want a high value man, and the high value man is going to be focused on becoming strong, developing skills, developing income, wealth, all of that. You got to put yourself first in order to get that, because if you don't know it, no one else will. Women can find a man who will take care of them. A woman can give up her frame to a good man, a high value man who's good, and he'll take care of her. Not completely, but say with bills, maybe he's paying 100% of the bills. Maybe he's paying 70%. So a woman can give up frame and still be her own mental point of origin, because when she gives up frame with the strong man, a good man, she gets what she wants, which is protection, leadership, resources, all those stuff. That's not how it works for men. Men and women are different. And if you don't put yourself first, no one will. And if you don't put yourself first, you won't get the skills, the strength, the knowledge, the wealth, the clout, everything you need in order to attract the best women, in order just to have self-respect for yourself. So, and then you help others, but you always put yourself first, because if you don't, you're going to diminish your ability to help others, and you're not going to get what you want. Now, that is the what. And, the problem, of course, with blue pill society, Western society, is 70 years ago, the traditional contract was a man sacrifices. The woman sacrifices too. She cooks, cleans, gives a man children. They're married. She gives, lets a man be the man of the house. The man's going out providing, traditionally 80% to 100% of the resources. So he's slaving his ass off. She's doing stuff for him. And then comes along the F word, ism. And what's happened is women said, well, we're not going to hold up our end of the bargain anymore. That's oppression. We're going to say 50-50. But really, men, you just keep on doing what you're doing. We're just not going to do what we do unless we want to, for whatever reason. But we're actually going to kind of crap on these women that do the cooking, cleaning, the loyal, housewives. We're going to kind of crap on them if they're not strong and independent. And it just created a mess. And, one of my favorite quotes is from Myron Gaines. He tells women, you want a traditional man, but you don't want to be a traditional woman. And this has been ingrained in our society, that men still need to keep sacrificing, but we're not getting anything in return. It just flat out doesn't work anymore. And in addition to that, hey, man, give up frame. You can't be the leader anymore. You can't, you're oppressive if you do that. I'm glad out, United States and Western culture, many, many great things about it, but in many ways, it's an absolute mess. They wonder why the marriage rate is 50% or less. They wonder why divorce rates have skyrocketed, why there's so many single mothers, why women are more unhappy than any other time in history. It's just like, come on, guys, put 2 and 2 together. But anyways, if you don't make yourself your mental point of origin, no one else will. If you matter, you should. Now, here's the thing. I used to know that logically. I used to, the concept of shit tests, how women shit test men. I knew what shit tests were. I'd fail the shit test. I would still people please. I would still seek validation. I would still, acquiesce to, hey, let's go to this. I would take charge, like, hey, let's go to this restaurant. And the woman's like, can we do this instead? And I would give my brain up to her. And then she'd freaking ghost me, because maybe, that probably is some sort of shit test to see if they can grab frame for some women. The women who actually grab frame and then stay with you, they tend to be predatory women. I'm not saying across the board, but they tend to be predatory women. So why is it that so many guys in the red pill community know that they should make themselves their mental point of origin. They should pursue excellence. They should get ahead, go to the gym, all of that. And they don't do it. I mean, that's why they come to me. That's why they come to me for sessions. Hey, Ryan, I know I should do this. I can't lose weight. I know I should do this. I want to start this side hustle and I can't start it. And I'm procrastinating. I don't feel good about myself. I don't believe in myself. This is all really tied to mental point of origin, believe it or not. So we're going to start diving into the subconscious stuff and why, even though guys hear this message, make yourself your mental point of origin. Hey, if you don't put yourself first, no one else will. You matter. So someone should put you first. You're the best man for the job. Do it. They understand this logically, and yet they're unable to execute what's going on. So we don't just look at the iceberg above the water. We look at the iceberg below the water. And so I'm going to play a clip by this lady, Melanie Tonya Evans. Her program is what started everything off, cured my manic depression, and just started me on this path of just massively up-leveling, getting the life I want, working for myself, multiple six figures. I own 3 businesses now. Living a great life, can live anywhere in the world. I crafted that, but I had to take a lot of risks. I had to have a lot of self-belief. I had to get that in my subconscious to get where I am today. And I had to become my own mental point of origin and hold frame. I wasn't always like that. So what is going on subconsciously that keeps men from holding frame and keeps men from making themselves their own mental point of origin? Our good friend Melanie Tonya Evans is going to lay it out. Now, some of her talk is a little woohoo, but if you kind of filter that out and just focus on the core, what she's saying, I promise you it is solid gold. And I will be your womanese interpreter here. She really is a fantastic lady. She just uses a lot of woohoo language. So here we go. I'm going to play 2 different parts of this video. Afterwards, I'm going to go in and put the links for both of these in the description. I always forget to do it before. All right, here's Melanie. She's going to say some stuff. I'm going to interpret to the extent you guys don't understand the woohoo. But I think a lot of you guys are going to get the gist of what she's saying. So here we go.
Not knowing that unconsciously we're a match which went like this.
Okay, this is why guys don't keep their mental point of origin right here, subconsciously.
I think bad about myself, therefore I can accept bad people to treat me exactly the same.
And how do women treat men bad? They can dominate men, they can belittle men, and they can take frame from you and get what they want and then just leave you high and dry. They, you pay for a fancy dinner and then they ghost you. They turn guys into simps. They turn guys into beta orbiters. You want the girl. You want her to be your girlfriend, and you settle for being a beta orbiter while she goes out and bangs other guys, but she's getting the attention. She's getting what she wants from you, and you're not getting what you want. Exactly for the reasons Melanie said. If you don't value yourself internally, if you say, I don't really deserve, I'm not really a high value guy. Now, this is subconscious. These are deep down subconscious beliefs. I'm not really good enough for this girl. I really don't have a lot of value. I'll take what I can get. In my childhood, I was used to being treated kind of crappy, bullied. Parents treat me crappy. This is more of the same. This is a match for me. That's what's going on in your subconscious. If you don't value yourself at a core level, you will put up with other people's bullshit because that bullshit is a match for your low self-belief in your value. We'll keep going.
And that was unconscious, but that's what was going on. And those were the ones that were going to get through our relationship filter, the people that matched the composition of our inner being. So what are the feelings of not loving ourselves? It feels like this: an emptiness, a disconnection, a missing out, feeling alone and lonely, not feeling whole, and feeling like our greatest fear could happen, that we could die without being loved by someone for real, and that our whole life could end up being a failure if we don't achieve that.
Can any of you guys identify with this? If you think about it deep down, have you been in relationships or you've had girls, you have this scarcity mindset. If I don't appease this girl to keep this girl, if If I don't give up my frame, I might lose her. And then I'll never get the loving girl I want, the family I want. And so you just give it all up to try and appease this girl because you need her validation. You need her love. Why do you need her validation? Everyone needs to feel good enough. Everyone needs validation and love. But some of us don't know how to love ourselves and value ourselves. Do you know what happens when you love yourself and value yourself? You put yourself first. You make yourself your own mental point of origin. That's it, dude. I've done this hundreds of times. I've seen guys come in struggling. We fix them. They go out. They kick ass. I know the formula. She's saying the truth right here. I think there's a little more that she puts in this section that's good. We'll see. There's another section I want to cover here as well.
And that's how I felt, totally.
Oh, so this loneliness and everything, the emptiness, etc., that's because you don't know how to value yourself and love yourself. So you're trying to get validation from these women. When I get a good girl to love me, then I'm complete. Then I'm good enough. If I don't have that, I'm a loser. You know, it could be other variations of that. But if you don't value yourself, you're not going to put yourself first. Why would you? You're not worth that much. Why would you? But if you do value, like deep down in your core, you're like, man, I do have freaking value. So, damn, I deserve to be treated well. If you got that in your core, you just automatically make yourself your own mental point of origin. You automatically hold frame. It's like, I'm not going to disrespect myself and give in to this girl. If you feel you have value, then you're going to have this feeling deep down. You know what? I do have massive value. Some girl's going to see my value. If not this girl, you know, hey, some other girl's going to see it because I have it. I know I have it deep down in my core. I know it's there. And I know some other women are going to see it. If she doesn't see it, I don't care. If you know you have value and you give yourself approval, validation, and support, you give it to yourself. You're not only going to make yourself your own mental point of origin, but you won't need validation from others. You won't need to give up frame. You won't need to people please them. You won't need to do stuff to make them happy in exchange for them giving you the validation that you desperately crave. You already got it. When you get in this strong frame and you have this strong internal belief, mental point of origin is natural. It's just flat out natural. You don't have any of this emptiness in you. You feel good already. So you don't need to give anything to that woman in order to get her to validate you. The women who love guys who need them for validation, they're predatory women. They're narcissists, they're BPD, or, you know, it's on a spectrum. Maybe they're not full-blown MPD, but narcissists or borderline, but they have these traits where they know they can love bomb you, get you hooked, and then start pulling all this shit on you. And women are mastery, even just normal women in modern society. Women are biologically predisposed to want you to provide resources because from a biological standpoint, when they're pregnant with child, you know, just this is evil psych. This is tied to our biology. They need a guy to take care of them. They're physically weaker. In ancient times, they needed a guy to use his muscles to do stuff they couldn't, especially when they were pregnant. They needed protection. They needed resources, stuff they couldn't do. They needed the men to do. So women are predisposed. You know, that's why all these feminists still want guys to pay for the date. That's their natural wiring. That's why hypergamy is the way it is. It's their natural wiring to find someone with more resources than them, with more strength, taller, you know, etc. It's just straight up biological wiring. So, but what's happened in our modern society, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but for the few of you who don't know this is worth, you know, kind of elucidating, is in our modern society, in traditional society, like before feminism, before second wave feminism came along, even first wave, it's like, wow, you got the right to vote. Okay, why aren't you subject to conscription, ladies? Honestly, you know, because the right to vote was tied to conscription for men. Women just get it with, you know, so that actually wasn't equal. Just FYI, I'm just stating facts. I'm not saying women shouldn't have the right for vote. I'm stating facts. But before, you know, the F word ism came along, women would do things in exchange for the protection, the resources. They don't do that now. So it's more important than ever for, generally they don't. more important forever for guys to watch themselves out, because our Western society as a whole has become somewhat predatory towards men. And they will just take advantage of you all day long, ghost you, flake, not give any, something adequate in return. If you naturally value yourself, you're just naturally not going to put up with that. And this goes to self-worth. Melanie's going to talk about self-worth here. Now, what we do here at Intermasculine is, if you deep down don't feel you're good enough, you don't feel you have self-worth, you don't feel you're worthy of love, then you're just automatically going to put up with this stuff, not hold frame, not make yourself your mental point of origin. There are actually things we can do to, at a core level, put the good stuff in you, get this bad stuff out. She's going to talk about self-worth now, so here we go. This is also tied. This is what's going on under the hood that makes it so men don't make themselves their mental point of origin. Our subconscious mind controls 95% of our behavior. That is facts. That is neuroscience. So that's why I'm looking at these deep core, under the hood, subconscious beliefs that other guys don't. And if you don't address this, man, you're going to have limited success. That's the bottom line. So here we go.
The next commodity is self-worth. And this follows on from a lack of self-love. When we don't love ourselves, we're not a capable self to ourselves. Emotionally, we have fractures inside where we were never able to grow our resilience or our ability to endure disappointments or have the capacity to self-soothe effectively. We don't trust our senses, our own intuition. We don't know ourselves as a connected source to all that is and how capable we really are.
Okay, so I want you guys to understand this. Making yourself your own mental point of origin is self-love. Making yourself your own mental point of origin is self-love. And if you are good enough, if you do matter, if you do have value, then you are worthy of that. If you guys don't put yourself first and you're struggling to put yourself first, it means deep down you don't feel your value is high enough, and it means you don't know how to love yourself. Think about that. We'll keep going. I know there's some woohoo here. I'll translate it, but she is dropping just massive truth bombs here.
We feel small, dependent, reliant, and anxious and panicked when things go wrong, rather than knowing we have control of ourselves and can be our own quantum creator.
So self-love makes you your own source of power so that you can endure hardship. It is a massive source of strength. It keeps you from being feeling not good enough when you fail. If you know how to love yourself at a core level and have that belief in you, I'm worthy of love subconsciously. I'm worthy of love. I'm good enough. Failure doesn't affect my value. Failure doesn't make me unworthy of love. I'm worthy of love always. You need that in order to have self-love. So if you're worthy of love always, and you know how to give yourself love regardless, then failure doesn't devastate you. Then rejection doesn't devastate you. And it is a source of power. And that's what she is talking about here. Becoming your own mental point of origin, and deep down feeling you're good enough, knowing how to love yourself, feeling you're worthy of love deep down subconsciously, makes you a resilient source of your own power. And it does make you your own point of origin, mental point of origin. We'll keep going.
From a solid inner landscape, we try to control things outside of ourselves, discover it's fruitless, and then get more out of control on the inside. As the panic escalates, we may hand power over trying to get other people to look after us.
And here's the thing. We all need to feel good enough. We all need love. If you don't know how to give it to yourself, if it's not already in your core, you're going to seek it from others, most especially women. And now you give your power to them because you're reliant on them for that validation you don't know how to give yourself. When you give up frame, when you cease to become your own mental point of origin, when you don't know how to love yourself, it puts you in this very precarious situation, because now you still need love, you still need validation, you still want to feel good enough, but now others are in charge of whether you get that or not. Bad situation. That's what leads to people pleasing, giving up concessions, death by 1,000 cuts, beta-ization by 1,000 cuts. When guys in their core rely on the women for validation, they're going to give up frame, and they're going to put themselves second in the woman force first in order to get that validation. Now the woman has the power, they don't. Good things are not going to happen. So you got to fix your core and know how to give yourself self-love, self-validation, self-approval, and feel that you have self-worth. This is what's going on under the hood that makes so many guys just screw up their lives and not have mental point of origin. Keep going.
And then get ourselves hurt even more. Our choice of addictions and bad relationships to try to self-medicate the anxiety and depression.
That's all looking to outside sources to make you feel good enough.
We feel strip our self-worth more and more and more. We don't feel blessed by life. And we feel like things such as abundance, love, and joy will never be granted to us, and we must be unworthy of these things. So when a narcissist turns up as the consummated actor of love, abundance, and joy in spades, that is the parade we want to join. And we do, because we think finally someone is going to provide us a life of worth that will take away all the pain we feel inside of not feeling worthy.
Making yourself your own mental point of origin is intrinsically tied to making yourself your own source of self-worth. If you rely on others for your sense of self-worth, for validation, for love, you give the power to them. You cannot be your own mental point of origin if you are not your own mental point of self-worth. And then predators like this come along who know how to leverage that and get to what they want and leave you high and dry and traumatized, because they're predators. And they specifically look for people like this that they can exploit. Women do this. Not all women, but many women do this, especially in Western society, all the time.
This was my life and my story. I didn't have self-love.
Women who have low self-worth, they attract predatory men. It does go both ways.
And of course, as a result, I didn't have self-worth. How did I heal this?
Now, she says, how did you heal this? Well, that's what I do all day, every day. You can get the ebook, How the Subconscious Mind Works, and that'll start tuning you into it. But, my number one tool is hypnosis. It's not my only tool. But we go into your core and we change these core subconscious identities about your self-worth, your self-belief. We show you methods, positive self-talks. You can go on the video section of my YouTube channel. There's a video there called High Value Alpha Mindset. Go in there. It'll show you the cognitive stuff, the self-talk, the things you can do to start giving yourself love, approval, validation, so you don't need it from other sources. But of course, then that's conscious, and that can have a limited effect on your subconscious. But the real work is going inside. Again, hypnosis, number one tool I use. EMDR, if it's done right, can be effective. Psychedelics can help to a point. Ketamine's now legal. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just letting you know what I've observed. But I'm such a big fan of hypnosis. I do it in every session, even though it's not all that I do. But every session I do hypnosis, because it's a way to go into your core, take this bad self-worth out, put in you have massive value. Someone should put you first. My video on inner child work, that's literally doing that at a subconscious level. So you can watch more on that video, or you could book a session with me if you want. I mean, that's what I do. When you value yourself, you just of course, you should make yourself mental point of origin because you're worth it, right? And once you understand that no one will if you don't understand that no one will put you first, life will teach you that sooner or later. But probably within a couple of years, you'll figure that out. But if you don't have this in your core, then you're not going to value yourself and you're not going to make yourself your own mental point of origin. So you got to get your core right. That's what I do all day, every day. So just answering some questions. Mike, I guess you raised your hand for something. Still working on it. Yeah. Hypnosis, self-hypnosis. Get the bad out, put the good in, unconditional self-love. You have massive value. You can do anything you want. You just got to keep practicing. The more you practice, the better you get what you want. You're worth it. You deserve it. You know, thank you, P-Dubs. P-Dubs, longtime listener. Appreciate you, P-Dubs. Yeah. Very good truth bombs. So Melanie's, especially any of you guys who've been in a relationship, BPD, sociopath, narcissist, parent, or ex, her channel's great. She has a lot of woo-hoo stuff in there, but her methods are effective. Very, very, very effective. She knows what is in people's core that messes them up, and she knows how to fix it, just like I do. We have different approaches. She takes the feminine perspective. When I was going through her program, it was massively helping me, and I was like, man, I just wish there was a guy doing this from a guy's point of view, and there wasn't. Well, there's one now, so hey, it's me. All right. So Jay Lee, and there's others. There's other guys doing hypnosis now too, hypnotherapy. Curious Ryan, I am 49 years old, sir. So that's how old I am. And so that is our show for today. If you value yourself deep down, then it is a natural match. If you feel you deserve it, if you value yourself, then you deserve someone to put you first. Yeah, I know. I look. Most people say I look like 40. Some even tell me 35, but yeah, 49. Some say 44, but they always guess younger. So lucky me, man. Okay, let's. Yeah, nothing wrong with helping other people, but if you forget yourself, you're going to become weaker. You're either moving forward or moving back. And women like strong men. The stronger you become, the more you can help others in the long run. If you put yourself last and now you're depressed, you're miserable because you're not getting what you want, you feel you don't deserve it, you're not chasing after it, there's going to be some internal things going on that are actually going to keep you from being more powerful, more able to help others. Like who has more power to help someone? A multimillionaire or some broke guy? You know, who has more power? Well, the multimillionaire has more power. The multimillionaire can spend 10% of his resources and help more people than the broke guy who works at a homeless shelter all day. So there's something to be said for making yourself a multimillionaire in order to help more people. You know, there's something, you know, I charge for my services. Why? You know, I'm helping people. I want to help people. Why? Well, because I deserve it. I have an awesome, honestly, you know, I'm going to raise my prices pretty soon. I don't know, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. But if I'm giving people value, I deserve to be treated well in exchange. You know, that's how it goes. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I've chosen a career now where I get maximum fulfillment for me from helping you guys. So I am my own I'm living the life I want. Right now, I'm in the exact place I want to be, location wise. I'm dating the women I want to date. Some people, you know, especially women, disapprove of the women I date. I don't give a shit. I'm not dating trashy women. I'm dating high quality, gorgeous women. If others don't like it, I don't care. You know, I'm doing what I'm doing to help you guys because I want to. You know, and it's a great life. It's a great life. Some people make money and they're like, they make millions of dollars so others will think highly of them. That's not being your own mental point of origin. You're doing it so they will think highly of you, so you'll feel good enough. Learn to make yourself feel good enough where you are right now. It's going to put you in such a bit, because these people that are earning millions and doing all this stuff to impress others, they're a slave to others' opinions. That's not being your own mental point of origin. That's not self-love. That's not realizing you have massive value just for who you are. When you realize you have value, you deserve what you want, you got to go get it. You got to do the work. We're not like, oh, I deserve a trophy for doing nothing. No, it's like, no, I deserve what I want. I know I got to go out and get it, but I'm going to go out and get it because it's what I want and I'm worthy of it. I deserve it. You're just going to do it. And it's a great life. And then, here's the thing. You start making lots of money. I've been in this boat. You start making, now I'm not a multimillionaire, but I had one year I did over 300 grand. I've had many years well into the six figures. And you start to say, geez, is all I'm doing is working for money? Is that all I'm doing? Okay, I got the Porsche, I got the luxury apartment, I'm dating attractive girls. Is that all there is to it? It starts to feel a little empty. After a while, when you're successful, if you are successful and you have a good internal world, you're going to want more than just surface stuff. You're going to say, hey, you know what? I get a lot of fulfillment from helping people, from mentoring people. And you want to charge for it? Go right ahead. You still get that fulfillment and you get more money. So maybe it's a really good friend and you just help them out. And if that's good for you, you find the fulfillment, you like the social bond, great. But you're doing things for the reason you want to do it. It's not even seen as a selfish reason, but really you're getting the payoff you want. You're getting the bonding from the person, the sense of fulfillment from the person, but it's what you want. It's not what other people say you should want. Oh yeah, you need to be able to bench press 300 pounds, be 6 foot tall, drive a Lamborghini and make millions. Then you're good enough. Well, now you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're not living your life. You're living the life others say you should be living to be good enough. That's not your own mental point of origin. You're doing what society says you should do. To hell with that. You're already good enough. Chase after what you want, whether that's, sooner or later, it's probably going to be helping others in fulfillment, but you're going to get that success for yourself first. You're going to get what you want as part of it. And then helping others is part of what you want as well. So go through the rest of this. That's pretty much our show, but I just want to make sure, Jay Lee, fist bump right back to you, bro. Been listening to the self-hypnosis you provided on Inner Game Healing Summit, trying to see if it will help. Let me know how it goes. Hold frame. Yes, sir. If you don't do it, no one else will. So that's our show for today. Value yourself, get that deep down self-belief in your ability and value. And then guess what? You're worthy of putting yourself first. There's no question whether it's right or wrong. You just know it and then you just do it. You don't need validation from anyone, so you don't need to give up your frame to give that. And you now are your own mental point of origin. I came from a standpoint where I was the exact opposite. I was a gamma male. I was a doormat. I let everyone take advantage of me. You can go from that to making yourself your own mental point of origin. It's absolutely possible. I show you guys how. This show does stuff. Most guys at some point are going to need pro help or some good self-hypnosis or something. Fine. Do it. Invest in yourself. I mean, it's the number one investment you can make. But when I do hypnosis for others, self-hypnosis, I'm really just giving you the guys the knowledge. You guys are doing the work. I healed myself with self-hypnosis because all I needed was the knowledge and the guidance. Then I realized, oh, now that I know what to do, I have the power. I'm doing this. Same thing for you guys. I show you guys what you can do, that you have the power, and then you do it. And you truly do have. If you want to make yourself your own mental point of origin, if you got stuff in your subconscious holding you back, you can get it out. I can show you what to do. You're going to do the work. You can do it because you have more power than you know.